no point a lot of money if your health is not there.
If you think too much of negative things, it won't really help you with your situation.
I just think of what I am able to do and what is not in my control.
When you think you've arrived at a solution, then you realize that there's always a better way to do certain things.
In Islam, okay, his patience is in the sadamatil ula, during their first strike of calamity.
COVID-19 has been, I can say, in people's eyes we see it as terrible, but we actually don't know what's the wisdom behind it. But when we do see some wisdom behind it, we can actually be thankful and grateful for it. Because I spent, for example, my Ramadan with my family, 30 days straight together, Tarawih together, we broke our fast together, we spent our nights together as family. And before this, it was really hard. I mean, we guys like to go out, go to the masjid. We want to solat tarawih there. But this year is special year. We get to spend a lot of time together, quality time with family.
فَإِنَّمَا الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. It's not to say after every hardship comes ease, but within every hardship there is ease. So taking that lesson to heart, what I feel is COVID-19, yes, it's a very difficult period for all of us. But even amongst this madness, what I felt was the time that was given to us during circuit breaker, where we had to literally be at home to conduct your affairs and your businesses from home and not being able to go out, gave a lot of time for us to self-reflect and think about our way of life, think about what we do, and think how we want to move forward in future.
So something I'm grateful for is actually Ramadan during lockdown or during the school holidays for me as a student. Because if our school holidays were to be in June instead of brought forth to May, we would be going to school or even having online classes during Ramadan, which actually may be even more tiring than we expected to be. Although we have been used to Ramadan every year, obviously. You know, maybe because of this sudden change, everyone would be extra tired throughout this Ramadan. But Alhamdulillah, because of this COVID, we actually had to stay indoors and we had to be with our families. So actually, for the first day of Hari Raya, we were still in the circuit breaker period, right? So it was something new because we had to pray Salat Idul Fitri at home. But surprisingly, that on the first day of Raya, everyone was online to join the Zoom Raya. Because sometimes when we go out visiting to other people's houses, we might miss like this house or that house. So now with the Zoom Raya, we are able to kill multiple birds with one stone, because everyone's just right there in the same area and everyone can just catch up together and spend time together.
This thing happens, nobody expect lah. Allah Ta'ala tadikan bala sesuatu bangsa, satu negeri, satu kawasan, satu dunia itu kerana kesalahan kita sendiri. So you must realize what happened to us, this country nowadays, COVID, the whole world lah, something that we have done yang tak betul.
Something I learned was to actually be patient with those around me, because I live with 3 other brothers which are very annoying. So like, to be under the same roof as them every single day, it was a struggle for me initially, especially during our class, because all of us had classes. So we all had to find different areas in the house to actually attend our classes. So I feel like I learned to be more patient because there were a lot of things to give in and take with each other. So I learned that giving and take is more important than always getting what you want. So I think an advice to myself would be not to overreact too quickly. For example, people started going to the supermarkets and like taking everything. So I think like it may be a sudden drastic change, but we shouldn't be too quick to overreact and start being selfish or thinking about or prioritizing ourselves. But we should also think those around us that are also equally affected by it. So we should actually try to help one another instead of just being selfish and fulfilling all our needs.
So my advice like this lah, go for highest education as you can. Look after your family, especially your parents. Respect them. Respect the elders, not only your parents. Then inshallah, maybe you are lucky, you get a good job. If there's no job available, then it's maybe not your risky yet. But if there's job available, you can always apply. You already have your education, but you have certificate. Now in Singapore, we have no paper, no black and white. If you say by experience, if I say I got experience 20 years as a rig mover, as a pilot, without certificate, no way, Jose, you cannot go far.
I think my advice is, regardless whether you graduate now or you graduate later, the job market is not going to be as it was before. So whatever the opportunity that comes your way, just take it. Be it a traineeship program, be it an internship program, be it sort of a low-paying job that you feel it's low-paying, but end of the day, if it adds value to you, to enhance your career, to enhance your skill sets, just take it up. Because what you need is not to have a gap, in between the moment you graduate to landing your first job. Because right now, everybody is in the same situation. So the world is, regardless whether you're a graduate, whether you're a PMET, whether you're a sort of a senior worker, everybody is in the same situation where they're facing heavy economic crunch. And in the meantime, take up massive online open courses, MOOCs as they call it. So take up all these online courses. There are plenty that's available on Udemy, on many of the online platforms offered by the Ivy Leagues and so on. And you also have those digital courses that's offered by Google, by Facebook, etc. And many of it, you just have to pay a nominal amount, or you just have to, you can just do it free of cost. Because right now, you just need to develop yourself and to gain a footing and to hone your work ethics. So moving on later, once the economy recovers, you can then specialize in whichever area of studies that you've studied in. And always remember, fundamental to where the economy is headed, technology is very important. So imbue yourself with tech skills. I think it's absolutely important moving forward. So pick up some of the programming skills, Python, PHP, etc. And then make sure you know how this works, because you may not be learning information systems or IT or technology, but at the end of the day, to have some relevance as to how the whole world is operating and where it's going towards, it will add a lot of value to you in whichever career that you're going to choose.
My advice is this: help one another. It sounds simple, okay, but it actually reverberates throughout our community, okay, because we are taught that as Muslims, we have two aspects. First is our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the second is our relationship with the people around us. So firstly, let us use this opportunity, these hardships, these challenges, whatever we are facing, to come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Perhaps we have not been performing as a Muslim, and how we can better improve ourselves, perhaps by praying more, perhaps by reading Quran, perhaps by being a more beneficial person in general. And the secondly, also to help people around us, because Islam is a religion that tells us it's not just about what we do individually, but also how we affect change in our community, the people around us. So always help, always be aware about the needs of others, because a lot of other people are in need of us. They're basically facing a lot worse than us. So when we help them, okay, it's not just about us, it's about them. But when we help them, okay, Ibn al-Qayyim says that at night when we are sleeping, in fact, sometimes the doors of Jannah are knocking. Why is that? Because of the prayers of those who we have helped, or those who we have been there for them. Their prayers will be knocking on the doors of paradise. And so I think that we should take this aspect as well of helping one another and being there for one another as an avenue for us to be closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in the process become better Muslims, inshallah.
I'm currently pursuing my studies in Yarmouk University, Jordan. But we are doing our studies. Sorry. Terlalu. Aku fikir apa sama cakap ni? Practice. Sekejap nak cakap. Macam itu kira.
And we're also seeing no, it's okay. It makes it fun. It's okay lah, just sit down.
Boleh ambil lagi soal dia dah masuk prayer macam ni. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum betul.
Mesti. Ini je paling dekat. Tak. Let's go.